Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you this morning for a album review, and this is for the Evanescence self-titled album review, their third studio album that I'm going to be reviewing. So I'm going to discuss what I listened to for this album, because I did hear the deluxe edition tracks along with the other 12 tracks, which the 12 tracks are only the original. But yeah, and I'll let you know my thoughts on it. So let's dive into this review. Now, I did hear the first song, which is What You Want, and that was pretty good. I thought it was pretty good personally. Um then there's Made of Stone, which is the second track off the album, and it's really good. My Heart Is Broken was one of my favorites. The Other Side just I don't know if I was crazy about that one. Along with Sick and Swimming Home. Uh, they weren't bad songs, they just I felt that they didn't execute very well uh, with how the song was playing out. And I just wasn't that crazy about them. Those are the only three songs I had a problem with, but the rest of the album is pretty banging. It's a pretty banger of an album. A New Way to Bleed, which is one of the deluxe edition tracks, I think is on the Avengers soundtrack. I think so. I don't know. The first movie for the Avengers. But yeah, this album was pretty awesome. I thought it was pretty good. There were some experimentation through most of this album. And I know I am going to be reviewing the Synthesis album on Saturday, which definitely stay tuned for that. Because I don't think they should have called it an album. I think they should have called it a compilation album. Because it technically only has a few new tracks, and then it only has just the original tracks from their previous albums. Sorry, I'm just like really tired. I got up a few hours ago and I'm still beat and exhausted. I got up like 7:20 and I still feel drained and tired. But hopefully tomorrow I can sleep in or whatever. I don't know for sure. But yeah, overall I think this album was pretty good. Say You Will was a killer track. I liked how the instrumentation through most of this album, you can actually hear instrumentation. And I think Swimming Home only had the electronics, and I didn't like that. It had the instrumentation, but it also had electronics. Sorry, I almost thought I was gonna have an itchy throat or something like that. Something came up, like, in my throat or whatever, and it was really gross. Oceans was a pretty awesome track. Never Go Back was pretty good too. Didn't hate that. Lost in Paradise was pretty mellow, but still pretty awesome. I still enjoyed it. Um, Erase This was really good. Uh, I think their first album, Fallen, was one of my personal favorites. And this album's pretty good too. It's one of the best albums. One of the best albums. It's probably the second to first best album that I've heard from Evanescence. But Amy Lee's vocal performance in this whole album is pretty awesome. It's really high pitched, and she does use a falsetto voice in most of the songs, and I really like that. It's pretty cool. Secret Door was really awesome. So was Disappear. Secret Door was the final track for the deluxe edition, if you've listened to the deluxe edition tracks. But Um, Sick was the only one I had a little bit of cringe vibes listening to it. I felt like I was cringing a little listening to that song. The Change was really good, and Say You Will was awesome. And yeah, I think I pretty much explained most of the tracks already. Um, the Other Side was, I think I already mentioned that, but I didn't go into brief detail about why I kind of didn't like it that much. I didn't hate it. I thought it wasn't bad. I gave it like a 4.5 out of 5, but there was just something about it that made me cringe a little with the song. Certain parts in the song made me cringe, but for the most part, no, I didn't hate this self-titled Evanescence album. I thought it was pretty good, and I'm really excited for their new album, The Bitter Truth, that's supposed to be coming out this fall or whatever. I don't know for sure, but hopefully it comes out in October. We'll just have to wait and see. But out of 10, I'm gonna give Evanescence self-titled album an 8.5 out of 10. I think this was pretty good, and I only got one more marathon album review to do of theirs, which is the Synthesis album, uh, which I don't think they should have called it an album, but they did anyway. It's their fourth studio album, and yeah, because they mostly had like the original tracks from their previous albums onto the Synthesis album, and they only added some new tracks, but not a lot. But for the most part, I hope you enjoyed this review. Comment below. Let me know what you guys thought of this Evanescence self-titled album, if you've heard it. And if you like this album review, comment below and let me know your thoughts on it. Tap a like on this video if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you can to support the channel. I will be returning to you for I think I'll be doing Black Bear's new track review. I don't know for sure. If I don't do it, it means I'm gonna do the album review, because I did hear a few new songs of his, but I just wasn't crazy about reviewing them. I mostly want to review Black Bear's new album and be surprised with what I'm gonna be listening to, because I've heard 2 of the singles from his new album, Everything Means Nothing. And no, I wasn't hating those tracks. The songs I already heard, which I kind of forgot what they sounded like again. I think I heard I Feel Bad. And sorry for my yawning, I'm just like super tired. I woke up a few hours ago and I don't feel like I got enough sleep, but I had to wake up early just to do things. And I gotta do some chores very soon. So I probably won't return to you for another video till tomorrow, unfortunately, and it'll be for the new album reviews, which I'll be doing the Killers' Imploding the Mirage album review tomorrow. At least tomorrow, if I can find it. And Black Bear's Everything Means Nothing album review. Then I'll be doing Troye Sivan's In a Dream EP review. I think it's called In a Dream. And Sleeping with Sirens' deluxe edition for How It Feels to Be Lost review will be tomorrow, or at least by Friday at the latest. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this marathon album review I did for Evanescence's third studio album, the self-titled album. It is 16 tracks long if you count the deluxe edition tracks, so it's about a little over an hour when you listen to it. But it is worth it. It's worth listening to, it's worth purchasing, and I really enjoyed it. But But thank you for watching this album review I made. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay safe, take care, and I'll see you in my next video.